Now let's run the Interactive Elements IGT. I'll start by clicking the sign to begin the run. Axe DevTools reminds me to make sure the page is in the right state and not to interact with it while the test runs. I'll click Start, and DevTools begins scanning the page for interactive elements, things like links, buttons, inputs, and menus. It found 60 interactive elements on this page. The first step is to identify any interactive elements that DevTools might have missed. In this case, the AI detected 3 possible elements that weren't marked up as interactive. These are part of the language and currency selector, which we've looked at before. Even though it looks like separate components, it's actually just one menu. So I'll remove the AI suggested items using the trash icon and manually select the full menu myself. I'll do a quick scroll through the rest of the page, and nothing else seems to be missing. So I'll click Next. Now, DevTools captures screenshots of each interactive element. On the next screen, the tool groups elements for easier review. The default grouping is called Intelligent, but you could also group by role or show all elements ungrouped. I'll stick with the default for now. As I scroll, I can see menu buttons, links to app stores, and form fields like the From and To stations in the ticket purchase form. For this demonstration, I'm going to select just 2 elements from the first group, the Login link and the Discover menu button, and then click on Next. Now we move into the accuracy check for each element. First, the Login link. DevTools asks if the accessible name, login, or register accurately describes the element. In this case, it does. Next, DevTools detected the role as a link, and that is also correct, so I'm going to leave it. Then, we're asked about the element's states: disabled, pressed, expanded, selected, check, or read only. None of these apply here, so I'll leave all of them marked as not applicable and move on. Next is the Discover menu button. Axe asks if the accessible name Discover is accurate, which it is, so I'll confirm. But here's something interesting. Axe DevTools has identified it as a link, which is technically what it's marked up as in the code, but it's not a link. It's actually a button that opens up a menu. So I'll change the role to button. Then DevTools asks for the initial state. Since the menu is collapsed by default, I'll select collapsed and leave the rest of the states as not applicable. Now, I want to test the same element in a different state, specifically the expanded state. To do that, I'll simulate hovering over the menu button by opening the browser's developer tools, inspecting the element, and using the Hover toggle in the Styles panel. That forces the menu to stay open. So back in Axe DevTools, I'll click Check Element State and update it to Expanded. Then I click Next. Axe DevTools now captures screenshots of any issues it found with the elements I tested. From here, I could highlight the issue, inspect the code, or view more information about how to fix it. Once I've reviewed everything, I'll click Finish. And just a reminder, I'm only walking through a few elements for this demonstration. For a complete and comprehensive test, you'd want to go through all the interactive elements on your web page and then verify each one. And that completes the Interactive Elements IGT. Thanks for watching.